Happy New Year, everybody, and I am back to talk to you about my top 10 FOC comic picks for this week's final order cutoff due Monday, January 13th, 2025 for most books, except for DC Lunar. You know you're going to want to get those orders in by Sunday, January 12th, 2025. It feels good to be back, kicking this year off right, so without further ado, let's get started. And kicking things off at number 10 is Red Hulk number 1. This looks like it's a Red Hulk book, but it looks like it ties into a book that's higher on my list, a Doctor Doom. I don't know, Prisoner of Doctor Doom, he's not alone. So Doom's plan for global domination. You'll see why I think that might be linked later on when I talk about Doom. And it guest stars Machine Man and Deathlock. Now this one does appear in stores a little bit later in February 26th. So if you're ordering online from some place like Economics and Comics, you're going to want to understand that if you put this in with other books that are going to be released February 12th, you're going to have to wait a little bit. So I do have a couple other covers that I want to show you. This one here, I showed this one basically because it has Sam Wilson's cap with Red Hulk in relation to the movie. If that is something that you're really into, I'm probably not even gonna watch it. Maybe not in theater, might watch it on Disney Plus. But if it's something you're into, that might be a cool cover for you. One other really cool cover for this book is a PX exclusive. I don't know what that is. Yeah, I don't know. Alright, it says Hulk rages in the... Yeah, so anyway, it's kind of like the Hulk's reflection in the Doom mask. I think is really cool. So that is 10. And at number 9, we have Black Panther from 1977. Number 1, Pan-Dimensional 3D edition. Previously FOC last year, December 30th, 2024. So it looks like it got pushed. It just seems really interesting, 3D. If that's something that you're interested in, you might want to pick that up. Number 8, we have, this is mostly just a cover buy, but I would pick this up over those other two, and this is The Amazing Spider-Man, number 67, Scotty Young. It's very rare that a Scotty Young doesn't make my list. And at number 7, if it loads, thank you, Lunar, we have Detective Comics number 31, the Facsimile edition. And the reason that I wanted to have this one on here is it actually is one of the earliest adventures. Right here it says earliest adventures. First introduced the Batarang and his original flying vehicle, the Bat Gyro, which is kind of probably like a bat helicopter type thing. Other Golden Age detective stories. So, you know, $7 for something that classic, especially when most modern books are $4.99, $5.99. You know, that might be something worth having to have in your collection. And at number 6, we have Daredevil number 1 Facsimile. I know I have a couple facsimiles here in the middle of my countdown, but I love these books. I love these characters. Daredevil is easily one of my top 5 characters in the Marvel Universe, and possibly top 5 in all of comic books. Batman's obviously, 1 or 2 with Superman, Wolverine, Spider-Man. So those are probably my 1 through 4, and then Daredevil. I love... He wasn't always, but he's become one of my favorites as I've grown up. And honestly, it's not so much Daredevil that I like, it's Matt Murdock that I've really come to be fascinated with that character and his growth and his internal conflicts and how he has to deal with all of that, along with not letting it affect his relationships with everyone around him. I think it's something that a lot of us now more than ever could really relate to. So at number 5, we have Absolute Superman number 4, and it's the introduction of the mysterious Omega Men. So this is the first one that's sort of like a quote spec book with a first appearance. So At number 5, that's really why it's there, because of that. Number 4, this is a book that I probably won't pick up, but it's really interesting, and I might pick up the trade paperback at the end, because it's about the Hellfire Club and Eddie Munson recruiting the guys from Stranger Things and them bringing them into his Dungeons and Dragons group. And it's a D&D focused prequel to the events of Stranger Things Season 4. So, after what happened, honestly, I don't know that I will like Eddie. I don't know how close they're going to make him to how he was in the show. I don't think you can and make him likable, because he wasn't very likable in the show until the last few episodes. So, I don't... Unless they're going to say, like, oh, how he was in the first few episodes is a facade, and they're going to really dive into his true character in this, that might make... That's kind of what I'm interested in seeing, how they do that. At number 3, we have New Champions number 2, and this is the first appearance of Magnetrix. So, if the New Champions is something you're into, Magnetrix, I don't know how he's that much different than Magneto. I don't know his relationship to Magneto. This looks like a female Magneto. I don't know who Hellrune is. I haven't been keeping up. Smooth Talking Magician, Monty. I don't know who that is. I don't know any of these people. I just know it is a first appearance of Magnetrix. And it's a Marvel character, so it's probably going to have a little bit more oomph than DC. And so that's why it makes my list at number 3. Number 2 and 1 are kind of, okay, it's the same book, but one is a cover that I think is worth it, being number 1. So, this is the one I was talking about, One World Under Doom number 1. This is what I was talking about, where I think the Red Hulk number 1 might be related to this. So it says, 6 months ago, Dr. Victor Von Doom became Sorcerer Supreme, then disappeared behind Latveria's closed borders. For most, there's enough going on in the world that Doom's absence just isn't a priority. Sometime without him feels like a blessing. Only if you recognize it for what it truly was, the calm before the storm. It is a storm that has now arrived. The world has woken up to a new reality. Dr. Doom, Earth's Sorcerer Supreme, has magically taken over every broadcast medium on the planet and has declared himself Emperor of the world, the ruler of a new united Latveria. And shockingly, impossibly, all of Earth's leaders seem to be going along with this. Luckily, whether it's mind control or Doombots, whatever's affecting them hasn't affected Earth's heroes, so they quickly form a strike team to stop Doom's machinations. But will they succeed? And what happens when some begin to welcome their new emperor with open arms, clamoring for one world order under Doom? Marvel's biggest and most shocking event ever begins right here with the rise of Emperor Doom number 1. Alright, so TLDR, this One World Under Doom book is Doom becoming the Sorcerer Supreme, and he's kind of trying to take over the world, and it has enough, whatever, I guess some type of mind control might be affecting the other world leaders, and it's not affecting our mightiest heroes, so hopefully they can help. Now, I do know that they could probably get pretty political with this, in which case it would cause this book to completely tank. They're not above doing that, and I know they're not. I don't necessarily know Ryan North's reputation when it comes to that. Maybe I need to do a little more research on that to determine if that is something that I want to get into based on his past and things like that. I know if it was Tom King, I definitely wouldn't read it. But anyway, going on to number 2 is this negative space variant by John Tyler Christopher. I love these negative space variants. I am a sucker for them. I pay way too much for them. I mean, I usually get them off his website for some of the other ones, but even $25, $30 is a lot for something that's just gonna sit in my collection. But anyway, $6 for this awesome John Tyler Christopher negative space variant for what could be a really awesome book. I think that might be worth the gamble, but again, I'm going to go ahead and do some more research on Ryan North, as you should do your research always when thinking of investing or anything like that. Don't listen to me, I'm not a non-expert, obviously, and I need to determine if this is something that I want to jump into, but I think this could kick off 2025 the right way. And you know what? I just realized in my intro, I said 2024. It's 2025. I actually have to go back and remake my thumbnail because it says 2024. And I have to re-record my intro. And I think I'm going to leave this in because that's pretty funny. So, you will probably hear the updated intro. And, anyways, that's my number one, One World Under Doom, by Ryan North, RB Silva, and specifically the cover by John Tyler Christopher. Alright everybody, that's going to go ahead and do it for me in this video, and my top 10 FOC comic picks for Final Order Cutoff due this Monday, January 13th, 2025. And if there's anything you saw from DC Lunar that you want to pick up, make sure you get those orders in by Sunday, January 12th, 2025. And as always, thanks again to those of you who made it to this far in the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that good YouTube stuff. Help me out with that algorithm. And until next time.